everyone, I'm so excited to be hosting the second episode of The Officers. We have an incredible lineup for today's episode, starting with one of our very own state VPs, Aaron Organ.
Hi guys, and welcome to Evenings with Aaron. During my segment, I'm going to be going over different things that my family and I do in the evening that I'd recommend for you guys to stay occupied and positive. Now today's segment is all about reading. Now before I lose you, reading is actually a lot of fun and it's really easy to get sucked into a good book. You might not know where to get a good book, so that's why I'm here to give you recommendations. So to begin, I'm going to be going over one of my favorite book series that I definitely recommend if you haven't read it already, and that's the Harry Potter book series. Now everyone's heard of Harry Potter, but a lot of people haven't actually read the books. They've just watched the movies and taken the Pottermore test. So I'm here to say, read the books. It is totally worth it, and it helps you understand a little bit more about the characters, and you get a little bit more of a glimpse of the life that Harry lived and the problems that they had. Now I'm going to go over a few of my favorite of the Harry Potter books that I definitely would recommend for you to read. So the first book I'm going to talk about from the Harry Potter series is The Prisoner of Azkaban. This is one of my personal favorites, and it's the third book of the series and kind of the last book before they start dealing with Voldemort and having that consume all of the conflicts in each of the books. So you know how some shows do what they call the Monster of the Week, where every episode there is a different conflict that they have to solve, and by the end of the episode the problem is over with, and then they move on to the next episode where they have a different problem. So this is the last book before they have the same conflict, which is Voldemort, until the very end of the series. So I really like this one, and it introduced you to a lot of really cool characters like Sirius Black and Remus Lupin. So I definitely would recommend reading the first two to get to this one because it's really good. So the next really good Harry Potter book, which is also another one of my favorites, is The Half-Blood Prince. This book is amazing. It is so good. It's definitely a tearjerker because a lot does go on, and this is the last book where Harry Potter attends Hogwarts as a student. So the next book, you definitely know things are going to be going down, which is going to be the end of the series, which is also the last book I'm going to talk about, The Deathly Hallows. You finally learn how they solved the problem, which is Voldemort, and you also get to go through the battle at Hogwarts, which is really cool to read about. So if you need a book series, definitely read the Harry Potter books. So now I'm going to be going over individual books from several different genres. So to begin, the first book is Me Before You. I read this a few summers ago and I really enjoyed it. It's about 400 pages, but it's a very easy read, and it is a love story. It's a classic story between two people who didn't get along, end up falling in love, and it is a tearjerker. I did end up crying at the very end, but I think it's good, like, if a book makes you cry, because that means that they did a really good job developing the characters and having you build a strong connection with them. So definitely recommend this one. Another love story is Safe Haven by Nicholas Sparks. Now I know when you hear Nicholas Sparks, you think it's just going to be a cheesy love story like The Notebook, but I actually really enjoyed the twists and turns with Safe Haven. It is a love story, but there's a lot of character development throughout the book that you learn a lot about the main character, things that you didn't know before, and she is running away from her past and she has a lot of dark secrets. So it definitely keeps you on the edge of your seat the entire time reading this. So it's definitely underrated. It's a fantastic Nicholas Sparks book. Moving on, we are going to be going over maybe a creepier genre. If you do like horror stories or creepy stories, I 100% recommend Stephen King for any of this. He is a fantastic writer and he knows how to write very unsettling stories. And if you've seen any of his horror movies like It or Children of the Corn or The Shining, you really understand how creepy he can get. And I definitely underestimated him in this next book, which is The Outsider, and again, it is very creepy and a little unsettling, so if that does scare you, I definitely would not recommend this, but if you do like it, I was definitely scared reading this. The beginning half of it is full of suspense, so I was kind of like, okay, where is he going with this? But to the end, he definitely did a very good job creeping me out a little bit, and the suspense was worth it. So if you can get through the first part of the book, it will be a crazy adventure towards the end of it. So if you're into scarier books or horror books, this is one to look into. It's one of his newer books that he came out with, so definitely recommend it. So the last book I'm going to go over isn't exactly a novel, but it's more of an inspirational book written by Lin-Manuel Miranda. He is the guy that wrote the Broadway musical Hamilton and starred as the original Alexander Hamilton on Broadway. So every day he used to send out tweets in the morning and at night. So he combined all of his tweets into a book called Good Morning, Good Night, and it has a lot of little pep talks that you can read at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day. It's really cute to go through. So if you do like that kind of stuff, I definitely recommend Good Morning, Good Night by Lin-Manuel Miranda. Well, that's all the book recommendations I had for you guys today. I hope to see you next time on Evenings with Erin.
Now that we've heard from Erin Organ, let's turn it over to the Cow Queen, another one of our state VPs, Madison Sifford.
Hi everyone, Madison here. Today we're going to do a few tips on how to improve your dairy handler skills, and these skills will also help you in the show ring if you also show dairy cows. I'm going to have my sister Salem here help me a little bit to allow me to talk at the same time as while she's working with the cow. Alright, first thing that we are going to go over is the speed that you should walk your dairy heifer around the ring. While you're walking your dairy heifer, you should make sure that it is a slow enough pace that allows the judge to see all angles and allows you to stop quickly and set your heifer up. The pace that my sister is walking right now is really great. This allows the judge to see the animal as well as it allows the heifer to look more elegant while walking around the ring. Now my sister is going to demonstrate different ways to walk around the ring in terms of what position you should stand in. Right now she's demonstrating walking backwards. While she's walking backwards, this allows her to watch the animal's foot placement, as well as it allows her to be able to turn and look and see where the animal is in front of her. While she's doing this, it allows her right hand to hold the animal's skin underneath their neck if they're more waisty underneath, as well as it allows her to hold the heifer's show halter out of the way instead of letting the show halter dangle. Now demonstrating walking forward. This is also another way that you can show your animal. Whichever way you prefer, you can do. Walking forward allows you to see the animals in front of you easier, but it does not allow you to hold the skin underneath their chin as well. Both front feet should be placed side by side, but wide enough apart that they are not touching. The rear 2 feet, whatever side the judge is on, that back foot should be back. So as Salem was about to demonstrate, I am on this side of the animal. So this rear foot will be placed back. If I was the judge and moved to this side of the animal, she would switch the 2 back feet so that this back leg closer to me is further back. It's also important to pay attention to what the animal looks like so that if the heifer roaches in her top, you can poke her down across her top line, or if she is sunken out across her top line, you can poke underneath. We hope you enjoyed our video. Make sure you tune in next time to the rest of the state officers with what they have ready to prepare for you.
I would try to put in a corny cow joke, but we'll just move over to our next segment with Michaela Craig, our state president.
Hey guys, I'm super excited to be sharing with you today how to bullet journal. This is something I started doing at the beginning of 2020, and then I stopped for a little bit, and at the beginning of April, I was like, you know what? I really want to start bullet journaling again. So I'm really excited to show you today how I bullet journal. but bullet journaling is, you can accomplish it any way that you want to. And that's something that I love about it. There's no rhyme or reason. You can be who you are, do what you want. And that's one reason I really love bullet journaling. So to begin, the things that you'll need are a bullet journal, some type of pen. I like to use the Papermate Inkjoy. And then any markers, colored pencils that you want. The markers that I use are the Crayola Super Tips. And then I just got these new markers from Target. They're the UB brand. And they have like a calligraphy, this like really thick tip on one end, and then a really fine tip on the other end for little details and everything like that. Please just use what you have at home. You can accomplish this with anything, really. So let's dive in and get started. Now I'm excited to take you through my bullet journal. So the first page is just the cover page. It just was created with that. And then I have the table of contents page, which is just a way that I can stay organized. And then I have the beginning of my April spread. So I did like cute little paper airplanes. And then after the April spread, I have my calendar spread. So I do a week by week calendar with an inspirational quote at the beginning of the week. And then I have 7 other boxes for each day. And then after that, I have this, which is some days you just have to create your own sunshine. So just something positive every single day. And then after that, I have this page. I don't really have a creative name other than just like my feelings of the day. So I answer the same 5 questions every day. So how did I feel when I woke up? Something that made me happy, something that made me upset, something I learned, and what I look forward to tomorrow. For the month of May, I'm just going to keep it simple, adding some small details, some flowers. Each month I like to do something different and just keep them easy and simple to design. Now what I'm working on is my calendar. So I found what works best for me is going week by week instead of looking at the whole month all together. So I'm just creating the first week of May, and I will continue on throughout the entire month. I'll add inspirational quotes, and then throughout the month I will add little designs and flowers. Again, I just like to keep it super simple and minimalistic. And now what I am doing is I'm working on the 5 questions that I like to ask myself every day. So again, just keep it super simple. And the 5 questions that I ask myself are, how did I feel when I woke up? Something that made me happy, something that made me upset, something I learned, and what I look forward to tomorrow. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I love sharing with you all a little bit about my bullet journal and how I start mine every month. Please just remember to stay as creative as you want to be with it, and it's what you make of it. If you start a bullet journal or have some really neat ideas about one, please let me know on my Instagram, _MichaelaGrace_. I hope to hear from you soon.